Chai with Manju. Every life has a story. Share yours with us.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Chai with Manju. Our guests today are renowned and accomplished filmmakers who are also very courageous. They are perhaps the only couple to have won the National Film Award for the same film in the same year called Tashkent Files. They have now returned with a very extraordinary film called Kashmir Files. Let's meet Vivek Agnihotri and Pallavi Joshi. Vivek and Pallavi, very welcome to Boston. We are honored and excited to have you. We're going to get straight into the interview. And Vivek, you said that this was a story that needed to be told, and you've been researching for over 4 years, and you've called it a story about humanity. So we would love to hear in your words, tell us about your movie.
Okay, so thanks for inviting us. I have got to know that you are the rock star of Boston and entire Massachusetts and New England area. So it's a privilege to be here with you, really. And you have a warm, infectious smile, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Okay, this film, The Kashmir Files, basically is based on 4 years of hard research and sweat, where we interviewed all the first generation victims of Kashmiri Pandit genocide. And this film basically tells, for the first time in the history of cinema, not Indian cinema, but any cinema in the world, the history of the Kashmir genocide, which took place in 1990 specifically, and over that decade. This film narrates how politics has actually destroyed the capital of knowledge of the world. Kashmir was known for its knowledge, its research, its innovation, its art, its literature, and everything which is great in humanity. But terrorism, supported by the geopolitical players, how they have, for the vested interest, destroyed the world's most beautiful place, which is called the heaven on earth. That's what this movie is all about.
And Pallaviji, you said that not only the Kashmiri Pandits did not get justice, they also did not get to tell their story. How successful do you think you have been in telling that story?
Well, I'd say that this is just the first attempt that any filmmaker has made, and one film is definitely not sufficient to tell the story of 30 years of injustice that the Kashmiri Pandits have faced. But at least this is a beginning. Nobody has ever made a story, and nobody has ever made a film from the point of view of the Kashmiri Pandits who were driven away from their homes over 30 years ago. And in the last 30 years, they haven't been able to go back, not even visit their motherland, forget going back and staying there again. But a lot of them are afraid to even go back. So this is a grave injustice. And when we heard their story, we decided that, as Indians, we have somewhere the whole system has failed our fellow citizens, our fellow countrymen and women. And we should do whatever is in our capacity. Both of us are filmmakers, so we decided to make a film on this. And hopefully, with the steps that we've taken, more and more filmmakers are inspired to tell the true stories of everything, that is happening in India. God forbid, but we are talking about Kashmir in this film. But if something similar were to happen in any other state of India, are we going to stay quiet and not look in that direction at all? I think it's wrong. So if we've made a start, I hope more and more filmmakers find the courage to tell the true stories of India and of the humanity around the world.
True. And Vivekji, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced when you made this movie, including, I heard, you actually broke your leg?
Yeah, see, breaking the leg is not such a big deal, because it also, in a way, it helps me because I understand the pain. This is nothing in front of the pain of people whose parents were killed, people who had to leave their home forever without anything in their hand. Imagine if you have to leave your in 5 minutes, and you can't even carry the your photographs, your clothes, nothing, and you never get a chance in your lifetime to go back to that. So that pain is much bigger than this pain. But as far as challenges are concerned, making these kind of films, which are based on harsh truth and reality, which are basically against terrorism or evil people, is very difficult, because then the evil people and the terrorists start threatening you and they want to shut your voice. And but despite all the threats to our lives and our thing, nobody wants to also finance these films. Nobody wants to distribute, market these films. People are scared. You know what happened with Charlie Hebdo when they made one cartoon in France. Their journalists were killed, and so it's become like there is no constitutional law anymore. There is personal justice. You can't say a word against anybody. They come and they want to kill you. So therefore, that is the biggest challenge. But then I said, if I don't do it, I don't think anybody is going to do it, because everybody is making movies to collect money. But it's, for me, it's a life's mission to tell these untold stories against inhumanity. And so this film is dedicated to all the persecuted people of the world.
Pallavi ji, I actually read that fatwa was issued against your husband, and not only as a filmmaker, you are also the wife and the mother. How did you deal with that? How did you handle that at an emotional level?
Well, the fatwa came when we had almost finished with, the shooting of the film, and yes, it does scare you. I won't be dishonest in saying that. As a family person, as somebody with responsibilities, as someone who loves her family immensely, yes, there was a minute or two where I was really scared. But we'd already shot the film, and as they say that I was cast, so the film just had to. We are not going to fight for my children to live it. I didn't want to set a wrong precedent in front of them. I wanted them to learn that we have to fight for justice. We have to stand up for what is correct. And I think this was the right way to move ahead. So in spite of all the threats, in spite of all, whatever the two minds that I was in for a while, we still decided that no, there's no turning back from here.
Oh, let me ask you one more question. And this is a question I really enjoy asking filmmakers. Vivek ji, when you look back, is there anything you would have done in the movie differently?
See, as a filmmaker, you always want to do more and more and more. And the kind of filmmaker I'm always growing and learning new things every single day. So what I'm telling you right now, if you do the same interview half an hour later, maybe I'll say something else, because my mind is always working and observing and thinking differently. So if this film, yes, there are few things, but as far as the film is concerned in totality, I think this is a perfect film, because when it comes to human tragedy, there is no end to pain. How deep can you go? It's like an ocean of tears. How deep can you go? But I think what we have tried to do is we have taken people to the shore of this, at the shore of the pain. And by looking at the waves, you can understand how deep the pain is.
What a wonderful response you guys have had to the movie in United States. Wherever you've gone, the love has been truly overwhelming.
Yes. I'm so grateful that people are not just liking the film, because somewhere we knew that we had made a sincere effort, we had made a good film, and we knew that people would like the film. But the way people have owned this film, and the way they're writing personal reviews about it, the way they're flooding the social media with the messages that come out through this film, the message of peace, the message of humanity, the greatest message of humanism that is coming through this film, and how they're carrying it forward, it's truly overwhelming. And if I may add a little to what you had asked Vivek earlier about the film, I would say that not just in this film, but there are moments in your life when you turn and look back and think, if I could have done things differently. But I think our life is a sum total of what we've done in the past.
Right.
So wherever we are today, we are here because of what we've done in the past. So somewhere, we would like to add a few more things to the film. I think I think what we've done is really good. I'm very happy with our effort. And while there is always room for improvement, one has to just, tell oneself that you shouldn't look back and repent about the things that you've not done, but feel happy about the things that you could do.
Yes.
And I think that is a more positive attitude. And
there are a lot of films and filmmakers who put a lot of love in the film. I think what you also put is a lot of expertise and your experience. And above all, I think what you've added is courage, because you've had the courage to tell the story which nobody has told for decades. So, we salute you for that. So that's
not just us, I think it was a great effort by the entire crew and cast, because all of them knew the subject that they were getting involved with. Right. And everybody, may it be our, director of photography, may it be our music director, may it be our costume designer, may it be our casting guy, may it be, our production designer, our production team, Vivek's direction team, our edit department. Everybody has actually put in their best, and we could see while they were working how passionate they were and how they wanted to give their best and make this film stand apart from all the other films.
Pallavi, I've watched you for a long time. You are one of our most renowned actresses, of course. And what is it like as a couple to be in the same industry? What is it like to work together?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's like we never have to make each other understand the dynamics of this profession. We don't have to explain to each other the need for us to have, longer working hours, the need to sometimes work through the night, work for 24 hours at a stretch, and then do nothing and just sleep for 48 hours. So all these things, we don't have to explain it, because we are both in the same profession. We understand this. And honestly, sometimes it gets a little boring also, because we are constantly together. So we try and give each other that space. But on the whole, I think the age and place where we've reached in life, I think at this age, companionship really matters most. And what could be better than to be working with your spouse?
And Vivek, I saw you doing this, but since you are the writer, I'm going to ask you to say some words also.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. And Pallavi is my senior, by the way, in film industry. So she's also my guide.
That's the good thing.
She's also my guide. And Pallavi is the force behind this new kind of films which I am making. Earlier, I was making big commercial films, but Pallavi has been really, really the shining light and the guiding light behind it. She's very inspirational, and she's my best critic. She criticizes, and I resist, but I ultimately understand. And she also brings a lot of quality and value to whatever I do. So it's great being a director and an actor. It's a very bad combination to be actors. Then you have a professional jealousy. But right now, we don't have anything like that.
And I heard both your children are in the movie as well. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. See, my daughter is here. She's working, shooting right now.
They look very comfortable.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are working all the times, and the entire family is into films here.
It's amazing how hard these trips, around United States are. You're traveling all the time. You get no sleep. Both of you still look very fresh, though you're exhausted. So my question for you, Vivek, is that if you had a wish list and, you worked so hard on this movie, what would be the one change that you would like to see in the world after this movie is released?
The only thing I wish that the students in university campuses understand how they are being brainwashed against certain narrative. And I think that is the pain of every parent in US. I see that very well. And I wish if this film even awakens and even educates even 1 dozen students, and they understand how the academia brainwashes them against their own parents and country, against their own civilization, and make them support the terrorists and the people who support terrorism. I think that would be the biggest victory of this film.
What about you, Pallaviji? What would be on your wish list?
The same thing. And adding to that, I think the film, as I said, though we have shown scenes of terrorism and, just sometimes barbaric in nature, but the message of the film is peace. When a bunch of brainwashed people pick up guns, they destroy the entire fiber of the society, the economy, the policy making, the education, science, art, literature, theater, everything goes for a toss. As in Kashmir, there is nothing right now. There is not even a cinema house where you can go and watch a movie. There is nothing for entertainment. There is nothing which can make you grow socially and culturally as a human being. And it's a terrible thing for young children who are growing up in Kashmir now. It is terrible that the only thing that they are seeing is the movement of the Indian army and the narrative which is coming from the neighboring countries that all Indians are bad and they still do not consider themselves to be a part of India. So if, as Vivek said, even 1 dozen students, if they understand this and if they take the message forward, I'm sure very soon, in a few years, we will see the change. We will start seeing some change. And that will be, I think, the greatest victory of all Indians.
Yes. And you've had many impactful events already in the United States. I've been following you, you've done. So what is the plan now in Boston for so many people who are going to watch? Where can they find you?
I think Vivek would give that answer because he knows the English.
Sorry, yeah.
I said, where can people find you?
Okay,
I know you're here today.
okay, now we have reached the venue also. And in Boston, I'm right now, we have a lecture at the Harvard Club. Then from there straight, we will move to University of Massachusetts and UMass. And we have, again, we are talking on Kashmir and humanity, Kashmir and justice, and Kashmir and world peace. These are the 3 themes. Tomorrow, we are speaking to students at Rhode Island and different professors. And after that, on the Friday, we have the screening at 4 p.m. In Marlborough. Now, all these places, I'm talking to students of various ethnicity, different countries, different nationalities, different races. And my idea is to let the world know why Kashmir is so important for humanity. If world peace is the question, then the philosophy which evolved in Kashmir is the answer.
Right. And what's your, Pallaviji, what is your message for those who want to come and see you, especially in Boston?
Spread love, spread peace, spread humanity, and be human beings first. Countries, ethnicities, caste, color, religion, they're all secondary. What is more important is for us to connect as human beings and be human to each other. We love dogs. We keep dogs as our pets. We have cats in our homes, but we don't give human beings the same treatment. We don't give them the same kind of, unconditional love. And what stops us from doing that? So that is the only message that I would like to give through our work, our, this roadshow in United States. Let's all be human beings first. Let's all love each other.
That is
Let's all
so
take
wonderful.
each other at face value, trust each other, have faith in one another.
Your timing is so good in many ways. I think this is the time. We've gone through really rough 2 years and we are ready for change. I think people have done a lot of soul searching and just the response that you're getting everywhere, I think that you are going to be the true courageous change makers that the world really needs. So I thank you so much, and I want to thank all the organizations, including Federation of India, who are hosting you here. Thank you so much for joining us today, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.